Hello, founders, and welcome to the Startup Foundations podcast. I'm your host, Greg Miaskiewicz. Today on the show, I chat with Andrew Peterson, CEO and co-founder of Signal Sciences, a security startup that recently sold to Fastly for $775 million and one of the largest exits ever for a Los Angeles startup. Andrew discusses how he met his co-founders, how to build a great company culture, and tells the story of his company's recent acquisition. What advice would you give to startup founders how do they go about building a great company culture from day one?
Yeah, it's I feel like building company culture is kind of. I remember talking to a mentor of mine who I worked with when I was at Etsy before, and I was asking her like, hey, what do you think your definition of a good manager is, right? And she's like, well, just like the real answer is kind of like, do you give a shit or not? And like, I think I talk to a lot of other founders, and I've tried to do as much learning as I possibly can from others instead of having to learn some hard things myself. But like, it's one of the common things that I see in companies, especially that have like really deep culture and really good culture, is that they give a shit. Like they care about it and they're thinking about it, and they're actively trying to sort of set that up within the organization. Now, I think the other thing that's really important is that like, you want to think about it, but just because you're thinking about it doesn't mean it's like the culture that everyone else wants to join, right? Like, and so I had a lot of conversations with people that were, coming to interviews and interview with us, and they'd say, hey, what's your culture about, and how do you define it? And I was like, well, look, if you're looking for this, that's not us, like, and that's not going to be us. And I think there was a lot of value that was built and a lot of trust built in just being able to have that conversation with people and basically saying like, hey, this isn't for you, this is us. It may not be what you're looking for, but that's what it is. And I think even just being able to define that and be comfortable enough of being able to say, yes, this is us and maybe this is not for you, I found it was very people are very attracted to that.
Cool. Thanks for joining us, Andrew.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for listening to the Startup Foundations podcast, a podcast that tells the stories of startup founders and how they built their companies from the ground up. Until next time, keep building and keep innovating.